This world is made up of two faces. One smiles brightly, full of sunshine and laughter. It's the face of normalcy, where people go to work, school, and live their lives in peaceful harmony. But then there's the other face, a dark, unsettling one, where shadows creep at the edges and secrets lurk beneath the surface. It's the face of the unexpected, the place where a bright young life can vanish into thin air, leaving behind nothing but an echo of unanswered questions. Today, we're diving headfirst into that darkness. In 2004, a rising star named Maura Murray stepped out of the peaceful world into the shadows. One cold February night, she disappeared without a trace. No goodbye, no struggle, just gone. Her story has become a chilling legend, a case that haunted investigators and captivated the nation for nearly 2 decades. Was it foul play, a tragic accident, or something even more bizarre? Join us as we peel back the layers of this unsettling mystery. We'll confront the harsh realities, the unsettling facts, and the unwavering hope that one day the truth behind Maura Murray's disappearance will finally come to light. Hey guys, welcome back to your go-to place for dark and captivating true crime stories. We're here at Crimeco to unearth the mysteries that haunt us all, bringing you the stories that will leave you intrigued. If you dig our content, like and subscribe. It helps us keep bringing you the chill. Now, grab a drink, snuggle up, and get ready to crack open another crazy case with your favorite crew. Alright, let's dive in. Picture this. Woodsville, New Hampshire, a tiny town tucked away in the countryside with a population that wouldn't even fill a big stadium. Everyone knows everyone. Neighbors wave at each other from their porch, and life moves at a gentle pace. The kind of place where fresh air fills your lungs and mountains dusted with snow paint a picture-perfect scene. But in a fateful February, this peaceful world shattered. Maura Murray, a young woman with a bright future, was on a road trip somewhere along Route 112, a treacherous highway with sharp turns and steep drops. Things took a terrifying turn. Her car was found abandoned, but Maura gone. The news sent a great disturbance through Woodsville. This wasn't supposed to happen here, in a town where everyone practically slept with their doors unlocked. The idea of someone vanishing without a trace was like a bad dream. Suddenly, the friendly faces and snowy peaks seemed a little less comforting. But the people of Woodsville refused to give up hope. Law enforcement swarmed the area, combed through the rugged wilderness. Volunteers joined in, desperate to find any sign, any clue that might bring Maura back. What happened on that lonely stretch of road? Why did Maura disappear to? The search was on, and the mystery of Maura Murray was born. Nestled in the peaceful town of Woodsville, New Hampshire, lived a young woman named Maura Murray. At 21, she was a bright light at the University of Massachusetts, studying to become a nurse. Her future shimmered with promise, but on a cold February night in 2004, everything changed. Maura's name became etched in a mystery that baffled investigators and amateur detectives for almost 2 decades. Her disappearance that night is swamped with a thick fog of unanswered questions, sparking endless theories and captivating everyone who hears her story. As we piece together the puzzles of her life, a picture emerges of a driven young woman with big dreams. She was setting her eyes on a career in nursing, a path that fit her caring nature and desire to help others. Beneath those good grades and achievements, there were hidden struggles hinting to a deeper story. It's these struggles that might have unknowingly set off a chain of events, forever altering the course of her life. Born and raised in Hanson, Massachusetts, Maura Murray was one of 4 kids. Growing up, she was surrounded by the love of her parents, Fred and Laurie, and her siblings, Fred Jr., Caitlin, Julie, and her younger half-brother, Kurt. Even as a kid, Maura was a go-getter, shining bright in both school and sports. She was the star of the track team at her high school and a total overachiever, with her sights set on the prestigious West Point. Maura's hard work and focus landed her a spot in West Point, where she started studying to be a chemical engineer. But after 3 semesters, she realized it wasn't quite the right fit for her dreams. So she packed her bags and headed to UMass to study nursing, something she felt was more in line with her caring personality. Things seem to be going well for Mara on the surface, but life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. In November of 2003, just a few months before she vanished, she got into some trouble for using a stolen credit card to order takeout. Don't we all crave pizza at 3 a.m. sometimes? The charge wasn't a big deal, but it weighed on her a lot. Then, just 4 days before she disappeared, something even more upsetting happened. During a late night phone call with her sister Caitlin, who was battling substance and relationship problems, Mara got so worked up that her dorm supervisor had to bring her back to her room. The only word she spoke to them that night was chilling, my sister. The quiet town of Woodsville was rocked with Mara's vanishing. What became a routine report of a car accident quickly turned into a baffling mystery that would consume the efforts of law enforcement agency and capture the attention of the nation. On the evening of February 9, 2004, a local resident named Faith Westman dialed 911 after spotting a black sedan that appeared to have crashed into a snowbank along the treacherous curves of Route 112. Within minutes, another witness, a school bus driver named Butch Atwood, arrived at the scene and reported seeing a young woman pacing near the car. Offering to call for assistance, Atwood was met with a polite refusal as the woman claimed to have already summoned help. Unconvinced, Atwood returned home and alerted the authorities, setting the stage for a sequence of events that would leave investigators confused. By the time the first officer arrived at 7:46 p.m., the young woman had vanished without a trace, leaving behind a locked vehicle with airbags deployed and personal belongings scattered inside. The initial search effort proved fruitless, with no signs of footprints leading into the surrounding wilderness. As the hours ticked by, the gravity of the situation became increasingly apparent. Authorities soon identified the missing woman as Maura Murray, a nursing student at the University of Massachusetts. The search for Maura went into overdrive just 10 days after she vanished. The FBI swooped in, taking the case super seriously. They talked to Maura's family back home, trying to get any hint of what might have driven her to this remote part of New Hampshire. Back at the crash site, local cops were combing the area again. This time, they brought in the big guns, helicopters with heat detectors and super sniffing dogs, trying to find both people and, sadly, remains. But despite all this effort, they were coming empty-handed. It was like Moore had disappeared without a trace. Things got even weirder when they found a ripped pair of women's underwear near the crash site. Tests later showed they weren't hers. More questions piled up and frustration started bubbling over for her loved ones. They felt the police weren't doing enough. Moore's dad, Fred, went head to head with authorities, even suing them to get access to just more information. The search for Mara was a series of dead ends, false leads, and growing sense of desperation. But one thing remained strong, the hope from those who loved her. They wouldn't give up believing that someday the truth about what happened to Mara would finally come out. The years since Mara vanished haven't stopped the search for answers. It's been a relentless pursuit with every path, every clue getting a good hard look. Time hasn't dimmed the hope of finding out what happened. It's only made the determination stronger. Right after Mara disappeared, it was all hands on deck. Local cops, state troopers, even the FBI scoured the rough terrain around the crash site. They trekked through the elements, desperate for any sign or any hint of where Mara might be. When these searches came up empty, they took a different approach. In 2006, a group of volunteers spent 2 days combing the areas around where the crash happened. They weren't fazed by the difficulty, they were just determined. And that's when things got creepy. Such a dog supposedly went nuts around an A-frame house about a mile away. This could mean human remains. Hopes flared. Maybe they were finally going to find some answers, but it ended with a dead end. The search kept going on. In 2008, another 2-day mission kicked off with trained dogs and even private investigators joining in the effort. They left no stone unturned in the woods around that area, desperate for anything that might lead them to where Mora was. As the search for Mora dragged on, a scary idea started to creep in. Maybe something terrible happened to her. There were no real clues, no footprints, nothing to say where she might have gone to, and it just didn't make sense. Things in Mora's life before she vanished were tough, but she was still trying to move forward. She packed her bags, looked up directions to different places, but nobody knew exactly where she was headed. This planning, then disappearing without a trace, was super creepy. The deeper investigators dug, the more they worried that Mora might have been the victim of a crime. Her stuff was scattered at the crash site, but there was no sign of her anywhere. This fueled the theory that someone took her against her will. The police kept searching for the truth, but they couldn't ignore the possibility that something evil happened to Mara. The peaceful town of Woodville was shaken. One of their own might have met a terrible end. Years passed, and Mara's case became a symbol to why New Hampshire needed a cold case unit. Finally, in 2009, they got one, and Mara's case was on the top of their list. The disappearance of Mara Marie is a punch to the gut and a reminder that life can change in an instant, leaving a mystery that tears apart even the closest communities. Nearly 2 decades later, her story is still baffling and captivating, a testament to our deep desire for answers and justice. That night in February of 2004 feels like a puzzle with missing pieces. Was it an accident? Did Marie leave on her own? Or was something much darker at play? Despite the tireless efforts of police, family, and even internet sleuths, the truth remains hidden, lost in the fog of time. But even in the shadows, there's a flicker of hope, a belief that someday, no matter how hard or awful it might be, the truth will come out. Marie's story is a sobering reminder that unthinkable things can happen anywhere, shattering the sense of safety and forcing us to face the harsh realities of this world. It's a wake-up call to cherish loved ones, hold on to the good times, and never take life for granted. Years go by, but the search for answers goes on. Murray's story is bigger than one person now. It's a fight for the truth. A refusal to let the flames die, no matter the challenges. In the end, maybe the answer to Murray's disappearance isn't the most important thing. Maybe it's the impact her story has had, the unwavering spirit it ignited in those who refuse to give up, and the unyielding hope for justice that burns ever so bright. Alright guys, before you dash off into the night, don't forget to hit the like button, let us know you're enjoying the content and that keeps the creepy stories coming your way. While you're at it, smash the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Don't want to miss our next dive into the mysterious unknown. We're so excited to have you here building this community of true crime fanatics. Remember, even the most closed cases hold secrets waiting to be unraveled. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll be seeing you on the flip side for another mind-blowing case. Until next time, stay curious.